Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and today I've decided to make a video and share my experience in learning languages with you guys. So I'm gonna give you a few tips that I use myself when I learn any new foreign language. So if you want to learn a language just by yourself without taking any classes or having a tutor, these tips are for you. So keep watching. So my first tip is start listening to the language you're learning. It doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or you've already been learning the language for a while, just start listening a lot to native speakers talking. You've probably already heard this advice from other people and maybe you've even tried it already, but you get bored because you didn't really understand anything and it's hard for you to listen and you think that native speakers talk really fast and you can't catch words. But I'm gonna tell you this, don't try to understand, just listen. This method is based on the way we learn our native language. As kids, we don't start by learning grammar and rules and even the alphabet. We just start by listening to grown-ups talking. We can make these sounds, we can talk, we can make sentences, but what we can do is listen. So just find a podcast or an audiobook or a YouTube channel that is in the language you're learning and start listening to it whenever you can. If you're eating or doing the laundry or just driving to work, just start listening to it. Don't try to understand. Just try to listen to the tone, the speed, and the sounds of the language you're learning. And trust me, this will be a huge step for you to become really fluent in the language you're learning. So the second tip is find the most commonly used words of the language you're learning. I'm sure you can find it on the internet. There's plenty of websites that can provide you with this kind of information. And usually it's like 100 of most commonly used words of the English language or Spanish or Italian or any other language. So just memorize them. And it shouldn't be difficult because usually, as I said, it's like 100 of them. And then if you can, try to memorize as many verbs as you can. I have my personal list of the verbs you have to know when you're learning any new language, and I'm gonna put it somewhere here. So just take a look, make notes, and the next time you're gonna be listening to your favorite podcast, try to catch those words, try to hear them, and this will really help you to understand more when you're listening. So my next tip is watch movies in the language you're learning. This is another thing that you've probably heard like 1,000 times from a lot of people, but the problem with this is again that people say that native speakers talk really fast and you kind of get bored when you're staring at the screen and you have no idea what's going on, or even worse, you're just staring at the subtitles and you're basically reading, which is not what I'm trying to suggest here. What I'm trying to say is find a movie that you've already watched like 1,000 times, or even better, a TV show because it's longer. I'm sure we all have at least one of those. So find it and start watching it in the language you're learning. And this really works. This is how I learned English. I got from pre-intermediate level to advanced by just watching movies. The cool thing about this method is that you already know what people are gonna say, and then you'll hear like small conversations like, oh hello, good morning, how are you, in the language you're learning, and because you already know what they're saying, you'll be all like, wow, I just understood what they said. So this is pretty cool, and trust me, this really works. So my next tip might seem a little crazy, but start talking to yourself in the language you're learning. just when you're walking down the street or sitting somewhere and waiting for the bus. Just start saying something that you're thinking, or just start describing something that you can see around you. This will really help you to start talking, because you won't be all shy and uncomfortable because there's no one to hear you. It's just you and yourself, and you can take as long time as you want to think and come up with the right word, and this will really help you to start actually speaking. And this is also something I've been doing, and it's a pretty good way to start talking. And my last tip for today is, please do not ever translate the language you're learning. This is probably the worst thing you can do, because the key to fluency in any language is to be able to think in that language. And if you will translate every single thing to your native language, it'll take you forever to come up with the right words to express your thoughts. And basically everything that I said about listening and talking to yourself is how you start thinking in a new language. So please stop translating if you do it, and do not even start if you're just beginning to learn a new language. Try to connect the object and the situations with the words that you're learning. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel because there will be a lot more videos that I'm sure you'll find really helpful. And goodbye!